Afternoon, ma'am.
First of all, I welcome you also for that you are here, and I would like to share my ideas with that and the enthusiasm you have shown towards civil services. So it means that it's interesting to interact with all of you. So before starting uh, my views and what should be your approach, I would like to know because Pantanagar is a research-oriented university dedicated to agriculture and other science and other technical fields. How many of you have uh, thought of going for civil services? Like I want to know, like, have you ever thought of giving civil services? How many of you have been uh, interested? No. Okay. Very less number of students. Fine. So you all are more interested in the research field. How many of you are interested in the research? Okay. And how many of you are not interested in anything? It means most of you seems to be not have yet decided what should be your career, what should be your profession. This is what I could observe from the reaction. And it does happen that at times we are not aware of the career choices the students have. In our country, unfortunately, we do not have a very systematic and a very institutionalized approach for counseling of the youth about the various type of options, various type of professional choices which are available in the country. And I'm sure that once you understand what all the job of a civil servant is, what all type of diverse role you have in this civil services, you will definitely make up your mind to consider even civil services as one of your optional, one of your choice for your profession. Needless to say that civil services has been considered as the steel frame of the country. And when you join civil services, not only it gives you a sense of achievement about yourself, it can be one of the best choice in terms of career, but you also get an opportunity to contribute in the nation building. As you know that, as Sir has told, that the foundation of the university has been laid by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Nehru. And Pandit Nehru had this view that the youth should be contributing to the nation building because at that point of time, we got the independence, but we were yet to emerge as a nation. So maybe you must have heard about that India is nation is making. However, it's a long time back. Now the situation has changed, and it's a great honor that a person has an opportunity to participate in a nation building process. And civil services, both the union public services as well as state services, give you this particular opportunity. And the uh, type of opportunities, diversity, and obviously the type of the respect that this particular profession brings is unparalleled as of now. And we can say that maybe many of you may not be aware of what is the current trend in the administration. Uh, right now the world is becoming more and more global, and lot of you can say this particular distinction between the domestic and international is also fast diluting. So even those who are joining the jobs other than Indian foreign services, they are also now have much bigger role. For example, in the platforms like WTO, in the platforms of climate change. So the jobs areas are expanding. As I can see that not much awareness is there as far as the civil services is concerned. I want to start from the very basic. This particular exam is conducted by UPSC every year, and the exam is conducted in the 3 stages. The first stage in the exam is prelims examination. Prelims examination has two papers. One paper is the general studies paper. In general studies paper, they ask questions from diverse fields. What are these fields? They ask questions from India's history, culture, economy, geography, political system. And the paper is designed in such a manner that students from all the streams, even if they are from engineering or they are from law, commerce, arts, everyone is already taken into consideration, and that is why the syllabus of prelims is quite diverse. The second paper is called as Civil Services Aptitude Test, where they test your aptitude, they test your logical abilities, they test your ability of comprehension. Then the second stage in the examination is mains, which is the major milestone to be crossed, because in mains you will have to do 4 papers of general studies, 1 paper of essay, and the 2 optional. Like optional is 1, but the papers are 2. You can choose any optional. And I would like to add that UPSC also conduct forest services examination. And in forest services, if you have an agriculture, you can opt for that as an optional. And while even with your optional like agriculture, you can simultaneously sit for both the examination, civil services as well as Indian forest services. This year, UPSC has also started another very, very attractive area of that is Indian Railways Management Services, which is primarily meant for the students from the engineering background. So you can prepare for one exam, but the opportunities are diversified. And especially those who are in the final year of your engineering, please have a look on this particular notification on Indian Railways Management Services, and the exam will be conducted together with the prelims examination. So you can prepare both the 2 exams together, and since this is going to be the first time, I believe people should opt for this opportunity. So as a student of agriculture, you can prepare with the same study, same information for 3 category of jobs. Now besides this, the third stage in civil services is the interview exams, which is called as the personality examination. Civil services examination doesn't require that a person should have any specific background. It is not that if you have done your graduation in humanities, only then you will be able to prepare. In fact, if you go by the data, the students from the technical background, like engineering background, and the students from the science background, they have performed, in fact, much better than the humanities background. So, background does not matter. What matters in this particular examination is that you should have such type of personality which is like which is supposed to be ideal for a civil servant. So what is the role of a civil servant in a developing country like India? In other countries, the role of civil servants may be limited to maintaining law and order. But in developing countries like India, the role of civil servants go beyond maintaining law and order. And there is a very significant role of the civil servants in the development. So in our country, the bureaucracy is known as developmental bureaucracy, and the wide range of challenges also exist, wide range of opportunities also exist. Hence, they look for such type of people who not only just have academic excellence, but they should have certain special aspects in their personality. The two things are very, very important when you go for this particular exam as well as this particular career. These two things are your social intelligence and your emotional intelligence. Fine? So, this, in case you think to go for this particular examination, you should understand what the examination is, what is the role as a civil servant, what will be your roles, responsibilities, opportunities and challenges, and see whether you want to be in the position of power, whether you want to be in the position of authority, whether you really want to do something, you want to be different from the others, or you want to lead just a very, very normal life. So if you are an ambitious person who is not just satisfied with the ordinary life and you want to do something great for your sense of achievement as well as making a positive contribution in the country, you should think for this option also. And once you decide that you want to go for civil services, what are the do's and don'ts? What are the common mistakes students do and what should they avoid? So one common mistake is that they don't understand what exactly the exam is. What is the purpose? Like if UPSC is conducting this particular exam, what they are looking for, so that you should be in a position to have a strategy that works for this exam. This particular exam does not require that you just have or you just keep on studying the things. But the most important thing that is looked is your personality. So this is a personality examination, and the paper, whether it is prelims paper, whether it is mains paper or interview examination, at every stage they are checking your personality. So it's a personality exam, and what attributes you should have in your personality. The certain attributes, because the exam is framed on the basis of which type of people are required in administration in India. You know that we are a developing country, so we will always have resource crunch, as well as we will never have enough manpower if we compare with the responsibilities that we have to perform. So always this particular profession is going to come up with lot of responsibilities, and as a person you should know how to go for the management. Though civil servants and the managers are not same thing, but the management skill is very, very important. How are you going to manage the challenges? How are you going to manage the demands? How are you going to manage the resources, the manpower, as well as time management? So this management skill is at the center of the philosophy of entire examination. So examination, you will have to study from economics to ethics, from history to science and technology. It's not about how much good you know about science and technology or how much good you are in a particular subject. Rather, whether what is your overall approach, how you manage the things, how you manage the syllabus, how you manage the pressure, and despite this pressure, are you able to maintain the motivation? Whether you remain motivated or you get demotivated looking at the competition. Do you get demotivated when you see that you have to cover so many areas, or do you feel excited that I have to know this thing, and this is going to increase my knowledge, this is going to increase my personality as a human being, I will be more informed, I will be in a better position to make an influence in the society. This examination again also expect that, because there is a role of current affairs in this examination, and since you will be going for administration, you should be well versed with the day-to-day happening in the country as well as around the world. Hence, it is expected that the students take interest in the current affairs. That is why we see that when questions are framed in the papers, they are framed in a way that always there is an integration of the static as well as the current part. So someone who is in graduation should, what that person should do to ensure that while completing the graduation, while like the year in which you will be giving your exams, you are fully prepared. The ideal thing is you can start preparing from the graduation itself. And this 3 years, like along with your studies, even if you keep 2 days aside for your preparation, that will be more than enough. And I will suggest that whosoever wants to go for civil services or for any other job, even in private sector, if you want to go anywhere, still you should be well versed with the contemporary developments which are happening around. Even in your field of research, if from here, if you will go to some other places, you want to work in some other research institutions, you go abroad, what is always important and essential to remain in sync, to remain ahead also of others is awareness of the current or the contemporary events. So whether you want to go for civil services or not, I request that all of you should develop the habit of newspaper reading. And in case you are going for civil services, which skill one person should have, the very important skill is you develop command over language. Language plays the most important role at the mains level because examiner is not meeting you directly, you are meeting the examiner only through your writing. And language does not mean like you should have a very extraordinary literary language, but the command of the language in the sense that you are able to express what you want. Because ultimately in the job also, what you will be requiring is communication. So if you do not have communication skill, then there will be a problem, and that is why in the mains examination, communication skill is very important. So what I have seen that the students who are getting good ranks, the students who are successful in this examination and the students who are not, is somewhere the role of language, their ability to communicate. So those who are thinking and they are in first year, I would stress that start developing your communication skill. Start developing a good command on language. And how do you develop a good command on language? When you read good literature, when you read good books. I am not recommending any specific book, for example, in science, technology, in history, in geography. There will be standard textbooks which you will have to study when you are going to prepare for exam. But first year should be dedicated for capacity building. The basic things where I have found the students are lacking. Even if you see the school examination patterns, most of the CBSE, ICSE and all, there is they have shifted more and more towards the objective type questions. They have shifted more and more towards 3-4 liner answers. But when you prepare for civil services, then the expectation is very different. If you will work on developing your language, obviously you will have a very good chance. So in the very first year, at times students from the very first year, what mistake they do? They start taking the NCERT, they start taking the books which are meant for examination when they will be when they should be actually preparing. But they ignore lot of things in terms of the background preparation. That background preparation is very essential, and this background preparation should be done in the first year and the second year. And even if you are not going for civil services, you are going for management, you are going for even private sector, I will recommend you follow these steps. You will enhance your chances of getting your dream job. And if you do little of the efforts with respect to these two areas, clearing civil services will also not be very difficult. In a way, what we see, what is the perception? The perception is that civil services is one of the toughest examination. I hope that is a perception. And maybe that is the reason many of you have not thought of giving the civil services. But actually that is not the case. The reason is around 10 to 11 lakh people, they fill the form for this examination. But 4 to 5 lakh people get this confidence to sit in the prelims, and after that the competition remains very limited. Fine? So 10,000 students, 8,000, 7,000 students clearing the mains, and then becomes the main examination. So if you can reach to this level, and you see that the toppers in the examination are also topping this with around 50% of the marks. If you get 50% in the paper, you will be in the toppers list. What does this show? This show that actual competition is not that much as we are assumed. Fine, because number of times we do not have, UPSC has to choose out of the existing lot. But if you will make some special efforts, you can be among the toppers and things will be very easy for you. So there are 2-3 things, whichever profession, whichever area, go for developing your understanding of the contemporary issues. Second thing is, even if you are completely in science stream, don't ignore the importance of language. I believe that we all want to have a good life or not. You all want a good life, and I say that life does not come again and again, and opportunities also do not come again and again, and the age in which you are, this age will also not come again. So this is the age when you should explore. This is the age when you should be confident. This is the age when you should learn. You should utilize your time. You should see, you should not be someone who deserves to be something bigger, has to compromise with something much beyond your potential. Because these things later on, you will always feel bad that I should have done this, I should have done this. So everyone has an immense potential, and try to maximize whatever potential you have. And remember, we live only once, and the time is really very short. Those who are smart, they understand the value of the time, and they understand how to go ahead with their life. So just thinking about good life is not going to be enough. Fine? You have to take effective steps for your dream or for the good life. Have you understood? So this is like, because you all are very, very new to this particular field, so we thought that we should make you aware of the opportunities along with your own subject. You need not to change your subject. With your own subject, you can go for civil services, you can go for forest services, you can also go for the various other specialized services which government is introducing. If you have engineering, do go for the Indian Railway Management Services. And those who are in the first year, if they will start using their time properly, I don't think there is any reason that you will not be able to meet your goal.